Hi Dale, lovely to meet up with you and your dad again and do some further work on your swing. Really productive session, great example of when less is more. You're ticking over nicely, you're going into a busy period obviously with the club and the job, etc. And the last thing you need is major swing changes, especially when you're hitting the ball nicely. You've got your accumulator 4 runs out a little bit too much from P1 to P4. You know what to do to control that. The rates at which you extend and tilt are now massively improved. And the important thing for any professional, really, in my opinion, is where the club gets at P6. If you can get a P6, looking tidy, looking decent with your alignments, you can see that the club's not tremendously in. Shoulders are back into flexion or back square onto the golf ball much better than it would normally be. There's still shades of what you do. We talked about it. You're more of a sweep release player. The rate of extension tends to be just a little bit higher, which pulls the wrists out a little bit when we start coming into the impact area. So again, when you face on, accumulator 4 runs out a little bit too far, slides going in, starting to extend maybe a little bit quicker than you flex forward. But again, P6, nice and tidy, nothing jumping out there that would result in severe missed shots. As we come through the hit, swing direction's pretty good. There's that extension kicking in. So could you flex forward more and for longer in transition? Yes. You know what to do to remedy that. Do I expect to see you looking like Tommy Gainey from in transition anytime soon? Definitely not. It's not your thing. It's not the way you operate. You're more of a sweep release player. You see the head coming up a little bit, the wrists uncocking a little bit faster than some would to accommodate that, but not to the point where it's detrimental to your game. As you come through the shots, you were discussing a sort of tendency to hit the odd hook. The swing on the right is you more towards the end of the lesson, certainly taking a lot of hook out of it. So if we take a little look at face on at the beginning of the session, and look at the differences between the two, because this is where we did the bulk of our work. Okay, so swing on the left, plays nicely, and then occasionally hits a quick hook. The more the wrists are uncocking through impact, so the more you're releasing accumulator 2, the more accumulator 3 roll you will have. And we discussed that sometimes that can look worse than it is. As long as you appreciate what a player's doing with the wrists, you can sort of start to explain why you might have a certain look on exit. Having said that, if that roll starts too soon, so the wrists uncock a little bit too fast, and that roll starts too soon, you can see as you come through here now, you can see where that quick hook might come in. Obviously sent the images across to you. Quite a high rate of rotation in regards to the back of the left hand. It's a terrible graphic, just get rid of that one again, sorry about that. So left hand's rolled a lot. The right wrist has uncocked probably its most, and as a result the club face has started to close down and the club overtake the hands pretty quickly for the rest of the swing. One of the things we talked about was that the release of the head needs to be changed, and this was the main piece of your lesson really. We don't need to change a tremendous amount in the swing, but we do need to allow the head to release, like we're demonstrating here on the right. As the head releases, the body's turn becomes more continuous, and whilst you still have that sweeping release where the wrists are uncocking a little bit faster than some players would be, the rate at which the club face rolls, you can see with the lack of left hand showing there, and that different wrist condition with the right wrist brought about through this change here, just releasing the head, allowing the body to turn more continuously, controlling the rate of closure on the club face. When you did that, it didn't look like hitting a hook. Will you hit a hook again? Yeah, obviously that's golf, isn't it? That's how golf works. Do you need major swing changes when you hit that hook? Definitely not. We stop it shaft parallel with the ground. The swing on the left will be more prone to a quick hook than the swing on the right. The swing on the right is far more anti-hook without changing a great deal than the swing on the left. You're controlling the rate of closure. Your path is invariably out to the right. The thing we can't afford to do is have that club face closing down excessively. Good luck with it. I look forward to speaking with you again, no doubt soon, about coaching or your golf swing in general. Well done.